Hey guys, welcome back to Brighter Folks. Today we are taking a look at Atgames Sega Genesis Ultimate Portable Game Player with 85 built-in games. So what do you get for $79.95? Well, technically you don't get 85 Sega Genesis games, that's for sure. You get a good amount of original Sega Genesis games that were available in the 90s and some of the classics that a lot of us treasure and would like to play again if we don't have our old systems. So those are included in the system, but then they also include a whole bunch of games that are made specifically for these types of retro game systems where they kind of pad the number of games because they can't license everything. It's pretty costly to license some of these games and it would bring up the cost of the device. So I get it why they do that, but there's a good number of Sega games that most of us would like to play built into the game system. The other nice thing that Atgames has allowed you to do is to get your own SD card and download ROMs from online sites and play them on the system. So if you have a bunch of Sega Genesis ROMs available at home, then you can buy an SD card and use it on the system and play some of your old games. That's pretty cool. So what do you get in the box? So basically, in this nice looking box, all you get is an instruction booklet that gives you details of the games included in the system and how to play them, the walk through the buttons and controlling the games. You also get information on how to install the SD games onto the memory card. So that's in that little book. You get the USB cord for charging, which is pretty cool, sort of a standard USB cord, and the actual game player. Now if you look at this game player, it is pretty nice. I was kind of looking at it in the store and the blue and white kind of isn't my favorite color combination, but I could live with it. It's actually pretty nice once you get it out of the box, and the game controller is pretty on par with the original Sega Genesis controller. So if you're playing these games, you won't feel too much of a difference between the control of the game on this device or on the original controllers from Sega Genesis. So we have a little sticker to peel off here. Put that aside. And when you power it on, basically it brings up the menu with the 85 games. So there are 9 different screens that you can go through, and each screen, if you want to look through the game list, you just hit the down button, and to get to the next screen over, just hit the left button and scroll all the way to the end to the number 9 window, and you'll have the ability to reach your SD card. So installing ROMs on the device is not that difficult. All you need to do is create a folder on the SD card and call it games. And then once you have that on the SD card, just make sure that you're putting the game ROMs, raw files, basically not any folders with the name of the game or anything like that, just the actual game files in that folder, and it will find it on the system and you'll be able to play them. So I have installed Outrun on the SD card, and I got it to work on there and it looked really great. The controller worked fine, it was fun. You also get the ability to connect an AV cord to the top of the unit so that you can plug this to your TV and be able to play it on a large screen TV if you'd like. The other connector on the bottom, or plug, is for your headphones, the on-off button, and a volume control at the top, the SD card, and your USB port for charging the unit. Now, a curious thing is that it also has a removable back cover, I guess, for the battery. I haven't taken that off. I don't know what's under there, but if it is replaceable, then that's pretty cool too, because you might be able to charge an extra battery and keep it with you for those times when you're going somewhere where you can't charge the machine frequently. So other than that, I would say that some of the games on here, I'm just going to bring up one of the games that you guys might be familiar with so you can kind of see what they look like. So I'm going to go and bring up Golden Axe, one of my favorite Sega Genesis games, or classic Sega game. As you can see, once it loads up the game, it's just like And the speakers on here are pretty nice. Like, I was actually surprised that the speakers sound really punchy and they don't sound cheap. They sound pretty nice for what it is. So one of the first games that I actually played on here is Golden Axe. And I found that the controller was pretty easy to maneuver your character. You didn't have any issues with lag or anything like that. It really did well. So I would say for $79.95, if you're a retro game fan and you're looking for, let me just turn this down, we don't need the volume there. Let's go back to the menu screen. If you're looking for retro games on the go, there's two ways of actually doing this. You can either download an emulator on your smartphone and then get the ROMs wherever you might get them and play it that way. If you want to go a more legal route, spend the $79.95 and buy this little system. It's pretty cool. It actually works well. I think you guys would enjoy it. It's not at all expensive, considering the number of games that do come with the unit and that you can put your own on there. It's actually a decent little game system. And it's dedicated too, so you don't have to worry about when you're running it on a cell phone. It's hard to play the game sometimes on the glass screen. This actually has physical keys and buttons that make playing games a lot easier. I'm not disappointed at all. Like, I think I spent $79.95, but I'm actually going to enjoy playing this. Now, the long-term quality of some of these items, this is where you have to be careful. I've had items like this, and after a while, they just stop working for no reason at all. Like, you go to turn it on and they don't work. I have no idea why these electronics sometimes do that. They are on the cheaper end sometimes, but that's the only frustrating thing I've ever had happen with some of these Atgames systems and things like that, is that after a while they just don't work, which is really frustrating. So I guess it is what it is, so keep that in mind. But if you are a Sega Genesis fan and you want to play some of those classic games like Sonic or Mortal Kombat or some of the Shinobi games, this is a really cool system. I'm thinking that if this was at a price point of about $50, it would be better. And sometimes as these things get older and they start to discontinue them in stores, you do see them at that price point. So I would keep an eye out. It's at full retail right now at $79.95, but within the next little while, you might start seeing a few of these at clear-out stores or online, and you might want to pick one up, or you might find one used too on eBay and things like that. So it's definitely a fun little game system to pick up. So that's my quick take on the Sega Genesis Ultimate Portable Game System from Atgames. I hope you guys enjoyed this little sort of review. I'm going to do a follow-up video with some of the games actually in full mode so that you guys can see the gameplay. But for now, this is the quick look at the Genesis Ultimate Portable Game Player from Atgames. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.